Um, Hey guys, I'm just going to jump on. I just wanted to jump online, guys, and go through my go-to sleep routine. And so it's something we sort of touched on previously, my morning routine. So my morning routine is something I go through in order to set myself up to have a successful day or to have my dream day as often as possible. And the truth is, the reason why I can get up and have a morning routine and go through and have really good days is because I have a really solid sleep routine. So realistically, your morning routine starts the night before, and it starts with how well prepared you are for the day and then how well you sleep and all that. And so that's why it's really important to have a good routine the night before. And so sleep is super important as well because it's a major time when our body's like repairing and regenerating. So basically, your body sleeps, everything shuts down. Your body does like a good scan, checks out everything, repairs and regenerates all the muscles and stuff that you've used the day before. So that's why, like, you might go to bed, say, a little bit tight or sore, but you wake up and you feel really good. If your body's sort of like lymphatic system or like drainage systems aren't amazing, or they're not working as well as they could, then sometimes you might go to bed and wake up a little bit stiff and sore. But then once you get moving and get active and stuff, and the muscles start to sort of pump all that increased inflammation out, you start to feel good again. So sleep is super important. If you want to go more into the reason why sleep is more important, Why We Sleep is an amazing book by Matthew Walker. It completely revolutionized the way that I sleep and the way that I look at sleep. And so basically, as soon as I started reading that, I stopped waking up early to go to the gym in the morning, and I chose to prioritize like my 7.5, 8 hours sleep. And so that's a little bit of a rundown of why sleep is so important to people. And then this is how to sort of like maximize the sleep. So maximizing the time that you spend in bed, so that you are getting the massive bang for your buck, because there's nothing worse than sort of setting yourself up going, oh, sweet, I'm going to get my 8 hours sleep. And then you go to bed and you toss and turn and you can't get sleep and you can't switch off. So basically my sleep routine looks something like this. It's a little skew-iff at the moment, purely because we've got another little baby Nate at home. So it's a little bit altered. But generally on a good day, this is what I'll look at. So I'll try and be in bed by 10:30. That way I can wake up at 6:30 and get my 8 hours sleep. Or at least if I don't get to sleep straight away, I'm getting at least 7.5 hours of sleep time in that 8 hours of bedtime. And so what it'll look like for me, so I will generally go at 9:30. I start my routine. And so it's a way of like preparing myself so that by the time I get into bed and my head hits the pillow, I'm ready to go to sleep. My brain isn't racing and my brain isn't going off. So comes 9:30, an hour before I'm about to go to bed, I jump up. I put on my blue light blockers. So blue light blocking glasses. There is some decent research out there around using them. I always like to test things out myself first. So I bought like a cheap pair from Officeworks. I put them on, I monitor all my sleep and stuff. And I noticed when I don't wear them, it generally will take me anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour, or 30 minutes to 45 minutes normally, sometimes an hour if I'm really hyped up, from going to bed to when I start to fall asleep. As soon as I started wearing like the blue light blockers, it dropped down to 5 minutes. So straight away, I've gotten an extra 30 minutes of sleep right there, just by using those blue light blockers for an hour before I go to bed. Then what I'll do is it'll get to 10 o'clock. I turn off my phone. I don't turn off my phone. I put it on airplane mode so I'm not disturbed. And then I will go and wash the dishes up. I'll like limit all my screen time. And then it gets to like 15 minutes before I'm like going to go to bed, or 20 minutes before I go to bed. And I'll go through, I'll do my Wim Hof breathing, purely because it's just the only time I really get. I struggle for a bit of time in the morning. Ideally, I do it in the morning as part of my morning routine, but I've got a little bit more leeway in my nighttime routine. So I do my Wim Hof breathing. If you haven't looked at it, It's really cool because it helps with like all stress mitigation. And basically you'll breathe, then you'll do like a breath out and you'll hold your breath on the retain out. So it helps to deal with the accumulation of sort of like carbon dioxide in the system, which is like a major stressor. And then if you can deal with better or like higher levels of carbon dioxide, your stress goes down as a result because everything else seems pretty easy and pretty cruisy. So then that usually takes me about 10 minutes. I go through and I do my Wim Hof breathing, and then I'll do a meditation. So me personally, I do a manifestation or an abundance meditation. So that way I've got really good vibes going into sleep and I'm happy and I have nice dreams rather than worrying about stuff that's outside of my control and having nightmares. So I'll go through, I'll do that. And then I'll journal. So I'll write down like my top 3 things that I achieved in the day. I've recently started writing down my top 5 tasks for tomorrow, purely because when you write down a goal or something, you're much more likely to complete it. In the day, I'm usually pretty like go, go, go. And so what happens is I become a bit more sympathetic. My field of vision becomes a bit more tunneled. And I don't like necessarily think of like the really big stuff that's going to help me out in the long term. So at night when I'm winding down, my sympathetic's on, my vision is big and clear, and I'm thinking more about long-term things and what do I need to do in the like immediate future or like tomorrow so that I can like help move towards those goals in the future. And so I will, write out my 5 things that I need to do. I'll prioritize them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that way, when I get up, boom, I can start getting stuck into ticking things off my list and moving the needle in the right direction. So I've gone through, I've done my I've put my blue light blockers on, I've washed the dishes, I've stopped my screen time, I've done my Wim Hof breathing, I've done a little bit of journaling so that I'm happy, I'm in a good headspace. I can clear my head of all those things so that when my head does hit the pillow, my brain doesn't just start whirling and I go into overdrive and keeps me up for ages. Then I will put on a nighttime meditation. So like it'll just be a like nice little meditation that sends me off to sleep. Yes, I do get in a little bit of trouble, but I think my wife is getting used to a few of like the peculiarities that I do. And she's on board with it now as well. So she like listens to it. And I've caught her a couple of times actually saying, hey, you're putting the music on or the meditation on so we can go to sleep. And then the other thing that I'd really do is I like monitor my sleep. So I use a little app on my phone called Sleep Meister. And so basically I have my phone on airplane mode, but it just monitors like my movement patterns and how much I'm moving. And then also like breathing rate through my pillow. So then that way it can tell me like when I went to sleep, how long it took me to get to sleep or sleep onset latency. It also talks to me about the levels of sleep. So you've got light sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep or rapid eye movement sleep. It gives me a monitor and then it gives me like a sleep score. So like basically the score just tells you like how quickly you went away, how much deep sleep you got compared to like your light sleep and your REM and stuff. And so then because I'm monitoring my sleep, I can then make little tweaks to my nighttime routine, or I can make little tweaks to my day routine to see whether they have an effect on like my REM sleep or my deep sleep or my light sleep, or how long it takes me to drift off to sleep. And so then because I have that data, I can then start to make informed decisions about the decisions that I make during the day, whether they're helping my sleep routine or my sleep at night, or whether they're being detrimental to my sleep and to my recovery. So I hope that gives you guys a little bit of insight and hopefully like a little bit of inspiration to start paying a bit more attention to your sleep, and also starting to like figure out like, hey, what would my pre-sleep routine go? Because ultimately like sleep is a skill, and like every skill, if we can practice it, we can get better at it. And so if you can go through and you can, like have a nice little routine that gets you ready for sleep, you'll notice like your sleep will become much more efficient. You'll drift off to sleep a lot quicker and you'll recover a lot better. And then if you recover a lot better, it means you can train as hard as you want and not have to worry about injury. So if you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. But otherwise, have a awesome week and a Merry Christmas if you're catching this pre-Christmas. See you guys.